Now, a little table full of stuff. Do you want to take us through what these various things are?
I thought you'd know what they were.
Technology. Well, this one I know. It's a Wii.
Well done.
Video games, all games going back over, what is this, kind of 30 or 40 years of games?
Yeah, Commodore 64. I remember having a VIC-20. PlayStation, Sony PlayStation. Of course, that's, I think I'm right in saying it's graduated to a PS2, PS something, PS3, PS4 now.
What about PS5?
I don't think it's there yet.
789
I think
hasn't
that's
happened
next.
yet.
Well, are we talking about this? Well, there's a new exhibition at the British Science Museum which is looking at how the industry has evolved. Tim Muffet is there for us now with some rather archaic arcade games, but they're the best ones, aren't they? Bit of Pac-Man. Morning, Tim.
Yeah, a bit of Pac-Man. 1980 this came out. Just lost another life. Got a high score earlier on, but yeah, a trip down gaming memory lane here at the Science Museum. It's called Power Up, and it takes you all the way from the very early days, Pong, 1972 that first came out, all the way through the 70s and 80s. You mentioned the Commodore 64 earlier. There's one right there. Do you remember the BBC Model B computer as well? Just to the right, and the Sinclair Spectrum as well. It is quite a collection of gaming memorabilia. So we thought it would be fun to take someone who's very famous to modern day gamers. If you played Minecraft, you may well have heard of Stampy. He is huge in that world. And we thought it would be interesting to see his take on the world of retro gaming. This is what he had to say.
3, 2, 1.
Stampy is a star thanks to Minecraft, the 3D construction game. He uploads the games he's played to YouTube and offers advice. What's it like to be playing Minecraft with the real Stampy sat next to you?
It's incomprehensible.
But Joe Garrett, to give him his real name, was born in 1990. So what does he make of this celebration of retro gaming?
I was kind of born, I guess, right in the middle of gaming's history, and it's only as I've got older that I've kind of become interested in the old stuff.
This is an old console from the 70s. How does it feel to be playing something like this?
Well, I've never played any kind of game, I guess, since before the 90s, so this is really my first experience. I haven't worked out how to shoot yet. I guess will be
I think it's the red button there. So this is Manic Miner on the Sinclair Spectrum, long before your time.
I think one of the fun things about these older games, you kind of have to use your imagination and kind of go into fantasy land a lot more than modern games, which are so high definition and realistic.
What do you make of this game?
I think it's actually quite fun. It's like normal ping pong, but if you just can't go outside, then play this.
This game's from 1987. What do you think of it?
It's quite simple. Back then they would have found it really exciting.
I remember those days well.
Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to a Minecraft Let's Play video.
Stampy's videos have been viewed more than 6 billion times. There's no disputing his impact on the world of gaming and the amount of time kids spend in front of a screen. So this is Sonic the Hedgehog.
This is something that I feel much more familiar with.
People talk about now the concerns about screen time. The same concerns were being raised when this was out.
I think that it was probably actually worse, you know, back playing kind of some of these older games, because it was normally much more of a solitary experience. You know, unless you got your brother and sister there or friends over, you're mainly playing by yourself. One of the biggest changes that the gaming industry has ever had is the ability to play online. It's not just the playing of the game, it's the community it creates. Someone might be starting at a new school, and then once they found out that someone else likes a game that they like, there's just a million conversations they can have.
There are downsides though, aren't there? Some people are worried that kids could be contacted by people who shouldn't be contacting them.
So there's always parental controls that can be put in place to make them safe. The problem is not every parent knows about them or is putting them in place, and that's where the risks are.
A lot to think about. Siobhan Thomas is Director of Game Design and Technology from London South Bank University. Siobhan, what do you make of this?
It's fantastic. It's like a dream come true on a Friday morning. I mean, I'm from Canada and I've never ever experienced the BBC Micro. I just finished playing Tempest very badly on the Atari Jaguar, and I've never been able to play on that console before.
We heard from Stampy how gaming has changed over the years. It's an utterly different industry, isn't it? How big a deal is it now?
Financially, I mean, if you think about the financial implications for the UK, it's a 4.33, I think, billion industry. But if you think of it beyond financial implications and the ability of games to change people's lives, like for instance at Southbank University we're working on a program called Enable Gaming, which make games for kids in hospices with a charity called Lifelights. And as part of that we have people come in and test games who have Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. And it's changed the way that they work. Now they can get work as game user testers. And so I think this idea of what games can do goes far, far, far beyond whatever was envisioned, back in 1958 when people were first making games.
I saw you playing Space Invaders earlier. I'll let you carry on. Thanks ever so much indeed, Siobhan. Let's have a quick chat to Bryan, because this is the game that started it all, wasn't it? Pong, 1972, and you are a Pong champion. How did that happen?
Well, at this Power Up event last year, we had a championship amongst all the staff to see who could do this best. We kind of worked our way. We had a series of games of different ages. So this was the first one we started with.
It's such a simple game, wasn't it? It's so iconic. Do modern day games lose something when they have all the extra graphics and all the extra complicated features?
Well, they probably gain more than they lose because they give you a lot more variety. But sometimes this has the advantage of very easy to pick up. You can, it doesn't take a lot of explaining to anyone what you have to do. You can get going in a second.
Okay, I'm going to watch you for some tips. Thanks ever so much indeed, Bryan. Well, this event kicks off today. It's on for 10 days, and as I say, if you're into your retro gaming, it's quite a place to be. It's a real trip down memory lane.
Tim, thanks very much. Back with you a little later on. Bit of nostalgia there. Bit of gaming nostalgia.
Shame we didn't get batteries to this one you wanted to play with.
Do you remember the ones that there used to be in the pub? We used to have a table, and they used to have the game inside the table.
No, I don't.
Oh, well, there you go. Time now to get the news, travel and weather where you are.
Would have made the pub fun.